Hey there, Yoga Souls. So this is a short yoga session to help relieve that stress and tension through those crunchy, hunchy shoulders. So this is the area of the body that most people will feel that they're carrying that tension. This is also where we send a lot of our stress, a lot of our worries, a lot of our anxieties. So it's a really, really important part of the body to stretch and to keep flexible and supple. So what can happen posturally, and I see this a lot with some of my massage clients, is particularly people who sit for their day job, is we get that tech neck starting to happen. So once our posture starts to weaken, in the sense that we're no longer sitting up using those deep core muscles, those muscles that sit really close in towards the spine, we begin to almost hunch or slouch, and we get this rounding happening through the tops of the shoulders, and then our neck begins to stick out or jut out, and this is kind of how you see a lot of people working. So what happens is those muscles across the backs of the shoulder blades, they're not really designed to be in that contraction for that length of time. So they then start to feel really tight, they get overstrained, they get overstressed. And then the muscles of the neck are also having to really grip and hold on just to be able to keep the head lifted, the head safe. So the problem with this posture over time is that the fascia, so almost like cling film that wraps the muscles of the body, it starts to reform in that new position. So you do see a lot of people who then are kind of always in that position. Okay, so yoga is such a great tool for being able to undo some of these habits that we have in our posture, and being able to encourage the fascia to unwind and come back into that more beneficial position. So these are just going to be a few simple stretches that you can do either at home when you get home from work, or maybe even including them throughout your day at work. So if you do have a desk job and you know that you're sat for a long period of time, and you know that you're one of these people, then maybe throughout the day you could stop, you could do some nice yoga breathing, and you could maybe do a couple of these postures. So we'll begin with just some really simple neck stretches. So what we'll ask you to do, so obviously I'm not there with you in person, is just be really sensitive with your body. So I always say this with my students in yoga, there is no need to ever force the body in a way that it doesn't particularly want to go, and really try and listen to the sensations in your muscles, in your body. So these muscles that we're working with, they have been very used to gripping and holding on, for some of us for a very, very long time. So they're not particularly going to like it if we go in gung-ho and really crank the neck from side to side and do anything too extreme. Okay, we don't want to add any more tension to those areas. So we've got to be quite gentle and think of it more as something that we're going to build on over time. Okay, so in the beginning, even if you're just moving the tiniest amount and you're using your breath and you're trying to relax, that is going to be more beneficial than you yanking the body in that more severe way. So to begin with, we're going to do some stretches just sitting down. So I'm sitting cross-legged, but you can do this sitting on a chair. Like I mentioned, you can do this at your day job. So to begin with, we'll focus on the neck, and we're going to bring the hands just to rest onto the knees or the thighs. So it would be the thighs if you're sitting on a chair. And we're just going to begin by stretching the back of the neck. So rather than having that posture that we've just talked about, we're going to begin to support ourselves from those inner muscles, so those deep core muscles of the body that are designed to support us from the inside. So what I'd like you to do is begin to lengthen up through the spine. So gently drawing the navel back towards the spine and getting that nice length. Okay, so noticing how you begin to do this, once we start to activate through the core of our body, that then actually the shoulders can then relax down the back, the heart space can become open, and already we dissolve away some of that tension. So sitting up nice and tall, beginning to draw the chin in towards the chest. So for some of you with quite tight muscles in the back of the neck, this might already feel like quite a deep stretch. So we're drawing the chin down towards the chest. We're not hunching the shoulders up to the ears at the same time. So keeping them dropped down, chin to chest, lengthening through the spine. So the crown of the head's lifting, tailbone's grounding down. And let's begin to take those nice deep yoga breaths here. So we're breathing in and out through the nose as best as you can. So with every exhale, maybe drawing that chin a little closer towards the chest. Maintaining the navel moving back to the spine. Good, one more breath here. And then gently now rolling the head over. I'm going to mirror you, so you're going to move your left ear to your left shoulder. So just be careful, we're not moving the shoulder to the ear, so the shoulders stay relaxed. It's the ear moving down towards the shoulder. So for some of you, this might be quite a deep stretch, so you could stay just with that option. If you feel like you need a little bit more, you would take those right fingertips or the right arm out to the side, point through the fingertips, and that will increase that stretch through the neck there. So nice deep breaths. Good, one more breath in. Exhale, bring that hand back to the knee or the thigh. Roll the head forward and down, and then taking it over to the other side. So right ear to the right shoulder this time. Finding that stretch, making sure those shoulders aren't creeping up to the ears. And then the left arm comes out to the side. We point through the left fingertips, and we keep drawing that ear towards the shoulder. So just being careful as well. So you want to begin to notice as we work through these stretches how much gripping actually takes place through the body. So be aware of this hand that's on the leg here, that we're not clawing through the fingertips. We're not clawing through this hand here. So it's a lengthening. Everything else is relaxed, and we're focusing our mind, our awareness, to those scalene muscles, those tight muscles of the neck. Good, one more breath. As you exhale, draw that hand back to the knee or thigh and roll the head down. And then we're just going to take a few of those, so rolling the head to the side. We're not going to go back because it can be a bit crunchy for the vertebra in the neck, so coming down and forward to the side, down, forward to the other side. So just taking a few of those. And then coming back through centre and beginning to bring that head back to that neutral position. And then we're just going to do very simple shoulder rolls here. So you're going to really draw the shoulders up and back. So you probably hear a lot of crunching here as you're doing this. And then coming the other way, so back and up. And then see here, so this is a little bit of a tricky one. See if you can bring your one shoulder in front and the other shoulder behind. Okay, so it can be a little bit of an unco moment. And then the opposite. It always takes me a while to get this right. Good. So just trying to get that mobility back in the shoulder joint. Okay, and then just coming back to those simple shoulder rolls. Okay, so we're going to do one of my favourite stretches now for the trapezius muscles. So those muscles that sit on the top of the shoulder. So you've got a big triangular muscle that connects here and to the shoulder blade. And it's that one where if you go and get a massage and they press onto the tops here, where you feel those really intense kind of knots. So this is a really good stretch for opening up those muscles. So So it can be a little bit of a tricky one to get into, so you might need to follow along or maybe watch this a couple of times to have a go at getting into it. So you're going to take your arms out in front of you. So again, I will mirror you. So take your left hand and draw it over your right. And then begin to bend the elbows in towards each other. So you want to try and snuggle the arms as close in towards the chest as you can. And then we're going to begin to turn the palms to face each other. So you want to connect the hands in some way. So we're coming into what's called eagle arms or Garudasana arms. So for some of you, that's going to be quite tricky to get the hands to meet. So you might be further down. I'll show you from the side as well. So you might just be making contact somewhere down that arm. For some of you, you might be able to reach the hands. And what you want to begin to do is draw the arms up to the sky. You'll already start to feel this as quite a strong stretch for the tops of the shoulders. And then press the arms away from you. So we're lifting up and we're pressing away. Nice deep breaths here. Maybe closing the eyes so you can really focus the mind on those shoulder muscles. So think about breathing in, growing a little taller, lifting the arms a little higher. Breathing out as you press those hands and arms away from you. Good. Breathing in, breathing out. One more. And then unwind the arms just to give the hands a little bit of a shake. And then coming onto the second side, take the arms out in front. Right arm's going to cross over the left this time. Bend the elbows in. So just really snuggle them as close as you can to the chest. Palms are going to face each other and you make that connection. It might not be the hands, it might be somewhere lower down. Okay, so again, we're going to squeeze the arms up to the sky and we're going to press them away. Breathing in, growing that a little bit taller. Breathing out as you press the hands away. One more breath. Exhale. Unwind the arms, give them a good shake. Okay, so from here we'll come into a little seated cat-cow. So again, you can do this if you're sitting on your chair. So hands come to the front of the knees. We're going to inhale and arch the back, lift the chest towards the ceiling. Trying not to throw the head back. It's a little bit unsupportive for the vertebrae in the neck. So you can just look up or just straight ahead, that might feel enough. As you exhale, begin to pull the belly back to the spine, and then we're pressing the back of the heart to the wall behind you, tucking the chin into the chest. Inhale, going the other way, shoulders drop down the back, heart space opens, looking forward or up. Exhale, belly back to spine. You can use the hands to press onto the knees here as you press the back of the heart to the back of the room, chin to chest. Inhale, open, shoulders relax. Exhale, press it back, chin to chest. Good, inhale, arch and lift. Exhale, chin to chest. One more, inhale. Exhale. Coming back to that tall spine. Couple more shoulder rolls. So we're just really trying to encourage the shoulders to stop gripping so much, stop holding on so much. Okay, from here, interlace the hands behind the back and press the hands away from you as you offer the heart to the sky. Nice deep breath here, sending the breath into the chest area, into those pectoral muscles. Jaw relaxed. One more breath. Okay, release the hands, coming back. Inhale, arch and lift. Exhale, chin to chest. Inhale. Exhale. Okay, coming back to that tall spine. Hands to the knees. And then just circling the head again, so from side, forward and down to the other side. Coming back through centre. And then just closing the eyes here. So tucking the chin into the chest. And let's just take a moment, so as we close this very short practice that we've just done, just take a moment to just have a little think about those things throughout the day that are contributing to that stress and that tension that we carry in this particular area of the body. So what we begin to learn and understand in yoga is this amazing relationship between the body and the mind, and how much emotional, mental things are actually being stored in our body throughout the day. So if we have this real chronic discomfort in the neck and the shoulders, just starting to think, well, what can I do about that in my daily life? Am I taking too much on? Am I taking on the world's problems, literally carrying the weight of the world on my shoulders? You know, could I do a little bit less in order to have a little bit more for myself? A lot of that stress and tension through the shoulders comes from that constant resistance that we have to the events that take place throughout the day. So every time something happens that we don't like, we respond like this kind of resistant mind, this mind of stress basically. So maybe that's something we could think about as well. You know, we can't control these things that take place around us. We can start to control our responses. So could we accept things a little bit more? Could we be a little bit more patient, mentally a little bit more flexible? You know, maybe we could be a little bit more open-hearted. You know, sometimes when we're closing off in our heart space, we round forward to protect that area. We don't want to let anybody in. There's that sense of fear, that sense of closing down in that area. Maybe we could work on that a little bit, opening up, being a little bit more loving, having an open heart and seeing how that affects the body. Maybe then the shoulders roll back, the heart space is open. Okay, so just having a little think about these things. So in yoga we don't ever want to be just looking at the physical. We always want to be looking at these habits of mind, looking at what we can improve about ourselves in order to make our life happy and positive. So let's bring the hands together into Anjali Mudra, resting the thumbs into the heart space. Yeah, so with all of these things in mind then, let's draw the fingertips up to the forehead and let's just ask for that clarity in our thoughts, so that we can be able to see these habits a little bit more clearly. Let's bring fingertips to the mouth for that honesty, skillfulness of truth. Maybe that might mean saying no sometimes. Coming back to the heart space, seeing if we can begin that practice of having that more open and loving heart. Okay, bowing the forehead forwards, bowing, sealing your practice, and then coming back up when you're ready. Okay. Thank you very much for joining me for this short neck and shoulder practice. I hope you find it beneficial, and please leave any feedback or comments or anything that I could improve, and hopefully I will see